Josh, obviously come to you first. We all know the story by now of what happened with the earnings. 24 price target increases at least today. Stacey Rascon with us yesterday ahead of the number, goes to 1,300. Nowhere near its peak is what he says. The list long and distinguished today of the similar kind of commentary following these numbers. Obviously, this was not priced in.
So I rewatched the clip of you, me, Stacey, and Bryn. Were we bullish enough? Like we were all like, oh my God, it's Nvidia. They keep doing this. Like somehow now they're guiding sales to 28 billion for the next quarter. That's up another 100%. Year over year. That should have been slowed down by now, and it's not. Analysts were looking for 26.6, so it's a meaningful guide. I mean, and apparently it was enough. The 10-for-1 split is the thing that I don't think a lot of people expected. I don't think that this has anything to do with Dow Jones inclusion. I saw some people saying that. Very, very unlikely that the committee is in a rush to add Nvidia to the Dow 30. Not saying they shouldn't or they never will. I just think what that's about is options trading and stock-based compensation at the company. And there are a whole host of reasons for why they would want to do that. And it's not until June. So are there a lot of sellers between now and June ahead of the split? And you don't have to like send me emails. I understand how splits work. They don't really change the fundamental value, but people love them. You can deny it if you want to. I'm just giving you the behavioral side. So that was the surprise here, and good enough for a pretty big day, up 100 points. Best performer in the S&P 500 right now.
The question is, I mean, at times you have used, levitation in this stock to take some profits. Okay.
Yeah, stupid.
So, well, that's my question. Like, what? Is it stupid?
I have to.
But
no, it's not stupid.
So, what are our viewers supposed to do today with the stock up like it is and hitting a new record? Are you supposed to take some profits?
All right.
Are you going to be disappointed that you did the next earnings report?
All right, so I don't think there's a right answer that fits everyone. I think a lot of this depends on, first of all, are you a professional or are you retail? If you're retail, you have no one to answer to. If you're a professional, you do. I think a lot of the buying that you're seeing in the stock, though, is because of exactly that. Really difficult to tell your investors that you're focused on innovation and growth stocks and be materially underweight Nvidia. Like, what are you even saying you do? So that buying pressure is something that we've witnessed after every earnings report since the end of 22. The other thing that I would point out that's really important here, I've been in the stock a long time, and I have ridden it down 70%. 70% drawdowns in this name, 50% drawdowns. Not everyone can do that, especially if they're benchmarked, especially if they're answering, to LPs who are, expecting them to like hedge risk, et cetera. So it's a different answer for different people. My answer, I've already taken out my initial investment in this company multiple times over, so it almost doesn't matter. So I don't really feel any urgency that I have to like ring the register here. I'm fine. I'm staying with it. And I do think that this is a decade-long story unfolding ahead of us.
Weiss, you're in it. I mentioned Rascon over at Bernstein, nowhere near its peak. Ray J, momentum to sustain into the second half of 25. Piper on par with high expectations. Morgan Stanley, no signs of slowing down. TD Cowen, no further questions, Your Honor. UBS ticking all the boxes. Barclays, no slowdown in sight. Needham marching towards $3 trillion in market cap. Ives, guidance should be hung in the Louvre. So, the street is universal in the praise. What do you make of what we're supposed to do now?
Yeah, so normally when you see that kind of euphoria, it reminds you, if you're a student of history, it reminds you of the tulip bulb, euphoria that we saw, and guess what happened to that? But I don't think that's the case here. If you take a look, despite the move, now, of course, there's some momentum in it. There's a lot of momentum in it, as there is in the market overall. But if you take a look, actually, in the next 12 months' earnings, relative to the universe, which they're in, it's actually near the lows over an extended period of time. Goldman put that chart up in their report post-earnings. So that should give you some comfort.
You mean the valuation?
Yeah. I mean, yes, on the valuation based upon next 12 months' earnings, yes. So you're not talking about a very expensive stock. AMD is a more expensive stock than this, substantially more. So the fundamentals are there. What separates this is that the CEO, Jensen Huang, keeps going to where the cup is going to be rather than where it is. So others catching up. That's true of Apple. That's true of AMD. That's true for so many others. But so I think keep going. It's not a large position for me. I did add a little bit during the week, but still not large. So I continue to play in the others, the mega cap, and I think that's where you've got to be, particularly with the debate that should be raging, that's being ignored right now, is that will the economy continue to withstand this tight monetary cycle that's going on for an extended period of time? So it completely, made you ignore the Fed minutes yesterday, which took the market down.
Yeah.
So look, I still like it. I'm still there. I still think it's reasonably valued. I'm uncomfortable with the uniform praise as I am anytime you hear that.
I mean,
but hey, I'd rather have that than have to explain away an earnings quarter.
If you're one of the best, you're one of the best. I mean, can you praise Brady, Mahomes enough? I mean, they live up to the hype.
There are other
what more do you want?
I feel more comfortable in, which we'll get to. But
So, Liz, going in, we asked the question: the importance to the market of Nvidia, the importance of the tech trade, kind of a referendum maybe on both, since tech has led us back from the April bottom up 14.5%. It's been the best, by far. Green light now for this tech trade?
Certainly in the near term, a green light. I think a lot of the concern was over whether or not revenues would hit the marks and whether or not revenue guidance would be as attractive as people wanted it to be. And we know that the revenue of Nvidia is dependent on a lot of the other tech companies' ability to spend. And that's been clear throughout the year so far when we've heard from some of the other big tech names about what they're planning to spend on AI going through the rest of the year. You get that benefit in the semiconductor space. So far, so good. I do think that as the year moves on, investors have to be careful about risk management. This is back to what we were talking about with Josh earlier in the show. If you've been in this name a long time, if you've been in a lot of these names a long time, you're probably quite overweight at this point, or at least it's run up. Making sure that you're managing your risk and managing your exposure. The good thing right now is that you've got yields up today. I mean, the 10-year's up almost 10 basis points. You've seen a pop in 2s and 10s today.
Yeah, well, the data today was pretty good.
The data was good. The PMI data was good. So you're seeing somewhat of a recovery and little green shoots in parts of the manufacturing space. But these stocks are not down. They're not being pressured by yield. So I don't think that's what they're trading on, even though that's what the conversation will return to now that this earnings report is behind us.